Saugatuck, Douglas has long been a safe haven for gay people, a place where we can live openly and freely, a place where we can be who we were created to be. The Pulse nightclub in Orlando was also a safe haven. But last Sunday morning, that safe haven was invaded. Those 49 people were murdered because they were gay. And yet tonight, only one of our speakers actually uttered the word gay. We are gathered here tonight in our fear, in our anger, in our confusion, and in our frustration. We're not just here to mourn and honor those 49 lives that were lost. We're here to make sense of all this together so that we can move forward and effect change and make sure that things like this don't happen again. Many of you know that this is Gay Pride Month. The reason it happens in June is because on one June night at the Stonewall Inn in New York City in 1969, a group of gay people had had enough. Back then, gay bars like the Stonewall Inn were routinely and randomly raided by the police, and the patrons were dragged off to jail, and their names were published in the newspaper to publicly shame them simply because they were gay. And I use the term gay tonight to refer to the entire LGBTQ community. Those gay people in 1969 were full of rage, and I, for one, am so grateful for their anger. If it were not for that anger, I would not be able to live my life fully as an openly gay man. There was anger again in the early 1980s, when 5,000 gay Americans had died of AIDS, and the President of the United States never publicly acknowledged it. And that led to an uprising of activist groups like Queer Nation and ACT UP. They took to the streets and chained themselves to buildings. And I am so grateful for the anger of those groups, for without that anger, there would be no progress and no change. Those of you who know me in this community know that I am a man of great peace and that I am a man of great joy. But this past week, I have been so full of anger. I heard yesterday that the word anger comes from a Norse word which means grief. And I think that more accurately describes what I've been feeling this week. I have been grieving. I am grieving that 49 beautiful people were gunned down in their safe haven because they were gay. I am grieving that the man who took their lives was so easily able to purchase an assault weapon. I am grieving that he took a beautiful faith tradition, Islam, a religion that is practiced lovingly and peacefully by millions of people around the globe, especially during this time of Ramadan, and that he misinterpreted its teachings. He believed that his religion taught that gay people are evil and sinful. And because of that belief, he destroyed gay lives. But as a Christian pastor, I am deeply grieving with the realization that my church has destroyed more gay lives than the Orlando shooter did. The Christian church itself has inflicted so much damage on the gay community that it has destroyed countless gay lives. Talk to any gay person you know who grew up Christian, and most will tell you that the Christian church is the place that has most deeply wounded and scarred them. It is because of the Christian church that people have severed ties with their own gay family members. It is because of the Christian church that countless gay people have taken their own lives. It is because of the Christian church that legislation has been passed in this country to deny gay people of their rights. In the past 6 months alone, the Christian right has introduced more than 200 anti-gay bills. So in case you think ISIS is the only group that is trying to stop gay people, think again. The shooter in Orlando, because of the tenets that he attributed to his religion, he held the belief that gay people are sinful. And guess what? Most Christian churches in America teach that very same thing. Most of our Christian churches in America forbid openly gay people from receiving baptism, Holy Communion, ordination, or marriage in their church. As long as our Christian churches continue to deny their gay congregants the very same sacraments that they offer to their heterosexual congregants, we continue to send the message, however subtly, that gay people are lesser than, not worthy, and not good enough. Any theology that lessens the inherent worth of people is a harmful theology. I have long maintained my patience with the Christian church's slow emergence when it comes around to gay issues. I've been patient for many years, but now, like the people at Stonewall and like those who protested during the AIDS crisis, I'm angry and I've had enough. It is time for change. I am a Christian and I am a Christian pastor because I believe in the way of love, peace, and justice that Jesus demonstrated. Jesus courageously spoke the truth, and that upset many people of his time, and the people that it most upset were the ones who called themselves the righteous and the religious authorities. And it was because Jesus was a man of peace and justice that Jesus himself got angry from time to time. Anger has a place, but it is not a place to stay. It is not a place to dwell and make our home. If we make anger our home, we only add to the hatred and violence in the world. We need to use our anger like the people at Stonewall and like the people of ACT UP as fuel for action, as stimulus for change. So what can we do? Well, when you talk to your political leaders about guns, make your voice heard. When you hear a coworker or a family member say something ignorant about gay people or Muslims, make your voice heard. When you walk into the voting booth, make your voice heard. And when you walk into your place of worship on Sunday morning, make your voice heard. We must be the voice for those 49 people who no longer have a voice. Now, I have friends who live in Saugatuck who told me that they would not be here tonight because this vigil involved prayer. And they said they were sick and tired of prayer being the pat response to every mass murder in America. And I get it. I, however, am a man of prayer. I have seen its power in my own life. But I don't view prayer as asking God to come down and to intervene in our lives and to change the world for us. The purpose of prayer is not to change God's mind. The purpose of prayer is to change our minds and our hearts. The purpose of prayer is to transform us so that we can take action and move from a place of anger and fear to a place of justice and love. The best way for us to honor those 49 lives is to use our voices to speak out against injustice, even if our voices are shaking. But we must do so out of love and justice, not out of hatred and fear. I'd like to end tonight with the words of a Christian writer. Her name is Anne Marie Eckhart. She says, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Oscar Romero, Cesar Chavez, these were not passive people. They weren't people who only said nice things so as to not hurt other people's feelings. They weren't people who looked the other way when injustice was done to themselves or to others. They were not weak. Like Jesus, they used their God-given voices to move people forward to something new and more inclusive. And each of them changed the world we live in. My friends, peace is not passive. Peace is active. So let us go forth and take action. Let us go forth and use our voices so that we can change the world. Tonight, we are not ending our vigil with the lighting of candles because we are calling upon you to go out and to be the light in this time of darkness. We're calling you to be agents of change and instruments of peace. Amen. We want to thank all of you for your solidarity and for being here tonight. And we're going to end our service with a beautiful song of peace sung to us by the Lakeshore Community Chorus.